I have to talk about a business where our product comes from, and our business is a little complex also. Slaughtering cattle, the costs go up every year. Regardless, the costs cannot be controlled due to government regulations and all sorts of specifications on how the meat has to be packed and the bugs that we have to control. So it really makes it a big job. A meat company always has additional costs, and those costs are put into the business model. In saying that, also things like the drought that's hit them in the last few years now. It started down in the South Texas, and it slowly moved towards Oklahoma, continued to work up the Midwest, and has really impacted on the numbers. We've had low kills in the last 3-4 years, and this year it looks like it'll be the same. The numbers are not just there, and kills have been reduced by packers to try to level out keep the plants running and be able to keep things moving. And this is a really important factor to consider, because a lot of people think that the packers are driving this situation. They're not. They haven't got the ability to drive that situation. They've also got a supplier which they have to work with, and that's with the farmers and the pen holders, and it's quite complex how they all have to make a living out of that circle. So they're really restricted on how that's going to work. And you've got the government. You have the government with the ethanol program, and you wouldn't believe it. They want to put more ethanol into corn into ethanol, and this is just going the wrong way for the industry. So yes, the US industry is under pressure, and these last few years have reduced the herds. Hopefully in 14, 15, they're predicting the herds might return, start to rebuild them. Cow kills have been significant, and steer and heifer have been significant. What does this mean? This means less product out of the US, and we're already seeing that. And what I'd like to really people take away from this conference is the communication between the packers and the tanners and the end users really not there, because the brands of people in the shirts, they would know where a piece of leather comes. They don't know whether it comes from Brazil or Australia or America. They would have no idea. All they know, they got that article in the shoe and they couldn't care less, but it's much more complicated than that. And we have industries growing, the handbag industry growing. We have the car industries continued to take a more and more share of the market. So all these things have to be looked at. Somebody said to me, some shoe companies are deciding to put more material into their shoes, and possibly it's not such a bad thing, because the animals that are killed, there's only a limit to them. And everybody has to consider it's a natural product. The climate affects them, the breeds affects them, disease affects them, global economies affect them, whether they get an issue with the meat gets on hold. So there's many factors that could interrupt our industry. And I believe that working together and communicating together and understanding actually where they come and how we can work together to make it a lot of smoother transition. And this is based on pricing, to understand the pricing. There's a lot of, a lot of people think, oh, well, the price of the hides are too high. Yeah, but unfortunately, consumer drives the price, end user doesn't. So what I'd like to do is just make people aware that the drought is significant in the US, and the numbers are down, and they've been going down, and they were predicted to go back up in 2013. Now they're looking probably 15, 16 before they can return on the numbers. It is a serious problem, and it's going to be serious for another few years unless we get the moisture and the feed and the price of the cattle in tune, because also the packers have had 2 very heavy years of losses in this period of the droughts fighting for cattle, and the futures have been fairly bullish about it. So let's hope for a better year, and let's hope to build a better relationship with our counterparts, because we are really entwined into that industry. We're all part one industry. The leather industry is part of the meat industry, and we've got to see it all the way through the brands. And I think the brands need to understand that that's where the hides are coming from, and all the help they can give us to develop and grow the industry is the only way forward. So that's my thought of it. I hope you got something out of that. Thank you very much for your time. I enjoyed it immensely.